Okay, alright. So I'm gonna go live in Facebook as well. Need to press the live button. Okay, so I'm live, and today I want to be talking about why conventional marketing is converting at 20 to 30% only, as opposed to having a conversion rate that is much higher, which is, and we're talking about 80% and sometimes 100% when you are doing one-to-one coaching. Hello, someone has joined in Instagram. Could you just kind of like say hello if you can hear me? Because the last live I did, it didn't go well and no one could hear me. So it'd be good if you could kind of like say, yes, I can hear you, and then, that'd be great. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about, oh, hi, so you can hear me. All right, so today we're going to be talking about why conventional marketing converts at 20 to 30%. So as I'm writing this, I'm thinking like maybe 20 to 30% is good, but depending on where you're coming from, because for me, 20 to 30% isn't good, right? Like the moment you get somebody on a discovery call, if you are doing services and your services is actually you are the product, then getting a 20 to 30% conversion is really very, it's just very low. It's very tiring to be on calls. Like just imagine if you're on 10 calls, you spend 10 hours and essentially you're only closing like 2 clients, right? It's really very, if you've tried it before, it's actually not sustainable. It's tiring, all right? So I have had a method where I'm converting at 80% and sometimes 100%. So I wanted to share with you on this. And if you are new to me, I'm Melissa Sim. You can check my page, and I've written a blog on this as well. So you can go to my blog, and if you're on Instagram, just click on my profile link. For those who are on Facebook, just need to get into my website, which is melissasim.me, right? It's melissasim.me. There is a blog, and I've written about this as well. So, so let's start. So before I go on to say, why it isn't working, which probably I would talk about why it isn't working. So why it doesn't work is because when I first started, after I've gotten my business coach, and back before then it was even worse, but let's just talk about when my business coach actually taught me how to do this, right? So she taught me that I need to put in advertisement, which is Facebook advertisement. It then goes into an opt-in, which is your lead magnet, and after you put in your lead magnet, basically then it goes into your funnel, right? So at the thank you page, like the thank you page is your gold mine. So you can put a couple of different things. And I was taught that in the thank you page, I just put in a complimentary call. Now, when you do it that way, you actually do get quite a lot of complimentary calls. However, the closing rate of doing it this way is very, very low and is very exhausting. And let me tell you why. So if you are trying to close your one-on-one service, because you put a Facebook ad, because you then direct traffic to a cold market, and then they opt into your freebie, and then in your thank you page you say, hey, I'm offering this complimentary call. When I actually look back at my analysis of what actually happened, it's very low because first of all, there is no there's no like and trust factor. Like people don't actually know you yet. They've just seen you on an ad. They're interested in your freebie, which is why they have clicked. They haven't even had a chance to look at the freebie that you're offering, whether it's a webinar or whatever it is that you're offering, or an ebook, or some kind of download, right? MP3, all that kind of stuff. And then here you are offering a complimentary call. And is there a chance where they will actually click and say yes? Yes, it's pretty high, because statistics have shown that when you actually have a call to action right after somebody actually click on your first call to action, the second call to action, the likelihood of somebody actually clicking and say yes is pretty high, right? It's about at least 20%. So you actually see that a lot of marketers, they will put on their thank you page like a little low value product that they try to sell you, and that's pretty effective, right? So if you have a low value product that you would like to sell, you can actually put that in a thank you page. Okay, so now back to my story. So my story was, I did that. I spent about 1,500 USD on Facebook ad, and to be really honest, I only had like about a full package client, and then I had a 2-hour client. Like that's not really a good way to spend money. Like that's not good ROI. And so I got like really pissed off with this Facebook advertisement thing and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm not saying Facebook advertisement doesn't work, all right? And that trying to sell via email, autoresponder and all that. I'm not saying that doesn't work. It works, however, it is actually a strategy where you have to do multiple things at the same time. So when I first started, I didn't know that. I just thought that, hey, I'm all set, I've got my funnel set up, I've got my website, I'm just going to drive traffic, pay Facebook, and voila, I'm done. No, it doesn't quite work that way. So you do have like a multiple strategy that you need to do. And the multiple strategy is really about, well, one is to definitely have a lead magnet, drive traffic to the lead magnet, but then at the same time, you need to have a social media strategy, right? And at the same time, you need to have your email strategy. So what actually then happened when I actually got like about 80% conversion rate, sometimes 100%, like I mentioned earlier, I think some of you joined much later now. So the reason for that actually is then I switched. I've decided that, okay, I have enough of Facebook. Right now as I'm talking, I'm actually going into Facebook. I'm like growing my Facebook page. That is the next strategy that I'm trying out. That I know it's gonna work because it's similar to my Instagram strategy. So anyway, so when I kind of like got fed up of this Facebook ads, just driving traffic, and that's all I do, to really dismal like horrible conversion rates and all that kind of stuff, I then went into Instagram. And I love Instagram because everything then sort of like just opened a whole new world for me. I think number one thing about Instagram is there is not as much noise. There are not as many people in Instagram as there are in Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you're trying to do a live, you're trying to grow your page or whatever it is that you're trying to do, just imagine this, right? And I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I think there are some new people who have joined. Hi, Flora D. I hope I've actually said your Flora D, right? I've actually said your name right. So, so in essence, when you do actually your own Facebook feed, if you look at your own Facebook feed, like when you post something that's just for fun, you actually see that the next minute when you go in, you can't even see your own feed. So imagine that your own Facebook feed, you can't see your feed. So it's just that sort of like too much activities and it's really hard. And in Instagram, you can actually like have a wonderful strategy where you consistently post, where you then get into connection with clients, and then you get to know them before you go into a conversation with them. So I'm assuming that you are doing this service oriented business and you are selling a service, right? And that's when you get into a conversation. And so essentially, even if you are not in a service oriented business, and if you're just selling products, there are obviously certain strategy for that as well. Like, it's a slightly different strategy, but there are different strategies, right? So there are no one strategy that is a catch-all, but in essence, there are general stuff that works, right? So when you grow your Instagram, you're actually talking about following people, obviously, and comment and like their post. They will then, some of them will then comment and like your post, and they'll follow you back, right? That's how you grow your followers. The second thing is posting consistently, where you then post, things that you care about. And it is about again, even in content, there is a strategy in content, right? So if that you need to be posting things that are engaging, you need to be posting things about your business, but you also need to be posting things about yourself, right? The know, like, and trust factor. And there are various things that you can post. Essentially, you need to be posting consistently. If it's once a day, then make sure you post once a day. If it is twice a day, then make sure you post twice a day, right? So that gets your engagement going. So the third thing is really connecting with your clients and actually speaking to them, right? Like when you're commenting, and if you use direct messages, you can be directly messaging your potential clients. I don't recommend that you actually do that to just about everybody. You have to be really selective in terms of how you do that. But the most important thing is you do need to create a connection, right? So what happened is, when I'm using this 3 simple steps, growing and connecting, basically growing first, and then consistent content, and then connecting with my clients, I'm able to close at 80% conversion rate, right? Generally, sometimes it's 100% on my one-to-one clients. That's because actually the know, like, and trust factor is there. Now, the other thing that I do want to mention is, when you are on Facebook, it isn't as easy to be reaching out to people by messaging them, because you can't literally, if they're not your friend, they can't even see your message. It's pretty different in Instagram, so you can actually do that and have a better connection. So it's more of like when people are chatting with you and you're having that, hey, what you doing? And if the person responds and they are actually telling you what they're doing, or like even if they kind of like reach out to me, like some of my clients would reach out to me and they say, hey, I love your page, and like to have a chat with you. And so what happened then is, I would actually have that little chat within Instagram itself before I will have a discovery call with them. And so that really upped the conversion rate, because of the fact that people actually know you, like they kind of know you already. It's not like they know, but that's sort of like, as you raise your know, like, and trust factor, it just gets better and better, right? So that is essentially really 3 simple steps in making sure that, thank you for the hearts, making sure that people are really connecting with you. And of course, even right now, I'm like doing Facebook Live, and I'm also simulcasting in Instagram. So that sort of stuff actually has that know, like, and trust that goes up. So I'm not sure if any one of you are a little bit afraid of doing live. And if you are afraid of doing live, I highly encourage you to go and do live, because statistics have shown that if you go live and people actually watch you for 7 hours, right? 7 hours on a video, the likelihood of them buying from you is much, much higher. So there is all this different strategy really needs to work together, right? So I want to like back up a bit. Hi. I saw some people join Yoga for Amputees. I'm sorry, I can only read whatever name that you have put as your Instagram handle, so I can't read your name. I've got some other people as well, so thank you for joining. If you are joining right now, it's kind of like in the middle. I'm Melissa Sim, and I'm a business coach, right? You can check me out on my page. And what I'm talking about here today, about why your conventional marketing converts at 20 to 30%, and I'm talking about, okay, I'll answer that question later. Let me just finish this. So, and I'm talking about the kind of conventional marketing that I'm referring to is when people normally nowadays drop, like a lot of people tell you that you need to create an opt-in. And after you've created an opt-in, you drive traffic to your opt-in, right? Which is the Facebook. When I started, I did a Facebook advertisement. I spent a lot of money, and I didn't get my ROI, all right? Like it was really spending a lot of money, but I'm not making money. And how that doesn't work. Like, you know, when I'm saying it doesn't work, it means that you spend a lot of money. You do get leads, but they don't convert, all right? Like, the most awful thing that you can actually do is to have leads or even to have engagement, but they do not convert as clients. Right? I've seen that it's pretty typical. Like I've seen that in a lot of my peers where I can see that their account is like really active. There's a lot of engagement, and then they tell me that they're not converting clients. Like that's really, that's sort of like, it doesn't make sense to me, but I don't know what's happening, right? Like they're not my clients, so I wouldn't know. But essentially what I'm saying is you need to be converting clients, and it is like really a multi-strategy, right? It is a advertisement strategy later on when you are no longer a new coach. So my target market is actually new coaches, right? People who want to go in to the internet new. Not that you are new in what you're doing. Like you're probably really great in what you're doing, but you have no idea how to do this online. And you're probably wanting to try it out. So essentially what I teach you to do is really to market in a way that is organic, that will require very little amount from you, very little amount from you, right? And then as you get yourself established, as you have all your multiple strategies and channels working, you can start putting in your Facebook ads or whatever ads that you want to put, right? And so that's the strategy that I teach my client. Like really get out there, get a few clients, get going, and then only do like the big massive stuff that all this multi-million coaches teaches you. They'll go like have a funnel, drive it in, put in Facebook ads. And I tried that, I nearly cried, and I have a lot of my peers who tried that too, and it didn't quite work. So which is why I'm like, I could really be talking about it, because it's not just my experience, it's my peers' experience. So let me answer the question. 7 hours in one viewing? No. It's not 7 hours in one viewing. Nobody wants to sit down and watch you for 7 hours. So it is not 7 hours in one viewing, but it is a combination of 7 hours. That's the stats, right? Like if people are watching you, like if you go live like every 30 minutes or an hour, or you're like just coming on live, which is why if some of the gurus actually teaches you to go on live every day if you can for like 30 minutes, because that's really ramping up your engagement. That would be really, really good. I don't do that because that's just me. I don't roll that way. I do live once a week, right? And which is always at the 9 p.m. Wednesday EST time if you're in the US. And if you are in GMT time zone, that's 9 a.m. in the morning on a Thursday morning, right? Yes, that's correct. It cannot be 7 hours. I don't think I can spend time with anybody for 7 hours straight, even one-to-one, like, you know, like really meeting them live, like real. and not on a video. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, so I just want to say again, like just to remind you guys that I have all this, like what I'm talking about is in my blog, so you can go and check my bio link and then go to my website and then go check out my blog. I wrote about this. This is one of the latest posts. Okay, so let me get back into some of my prehistory if you're interested to know. Why I came about to actually knowing like what is working, what's not working. Yes, I'm sure. Is that when I first started, I guess all of us have this journey like trying to like rocket in internet marketing and being like, you know, trying to get business from the internet. So when I first started, I thought it was like so easy. I'm just going to come up with a Facebook page, right? Like I've seen people doing it. So I'm going like, I'm coming up with a Facebook page and then I'm gonna sell some stuff. So I did that. Like I was thinking of drop shipping. I've got, you know, like a fabulous clothes line and nothing happened. Like nothing happened. And then I was like very curious and I started like 2 years. I was just dabbling in trying to figure out how all this works. And so I was like taking online courses. I was like, what did I do? I did group programs, and then I tried again, and this time I did Facebook ads, and then what happened was it didn't really work either because I was so ambitious. I had this plan that I had this Facebook ads that I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna run it for 2 weeks, and I'm gonna get a lot of leads because, you know, the program says so. And I got 10 leads. I was like, oh my god, like this doesn't work. And I was actually offering something free. I was actually offering okay, so I switched then to eat and be slim. Like you can be slim while eating, right? So that was my next product. It was an info product that I had in mind. And then I go like, well, nothing happened. So by the time I was serious about really quitting my job, going to internet marketing as a coach, I got myself a business coach and I hired her, and then that was when everything starts to fall into place, right? Like at least I know what I was doing. I know that I was doing something right, and I know when I was doing something wrong. And after that is like, you know, I now know exactly what, even whatever that she has taught, like if it doesn't work for me, I'm not doing that. And when I first started this, I actually mentioned that I did Facebook advertisement only, and that didn't quite work. So I've since then combined a number of things that she's taught me with other strategies that I'm finding, especially Instagram strategies, organic Instagram strategy that really works and that really get clients. And I think that's really wonderful because when you are new, you actually want to do something that's organic, right? Test it out, get it to work, get some clients, and then you can do the other stuff, right? Like I don't believe that if you are really big, like you're a multi-million-dollar company, you will need to put ads, that's for sure. There's no way you can actually survive, right? And that's the problem. The problem is a lot of people are learning from coaches who are already mega coaches. They are making multi-million. And their strategy is, okay, go put ads. But they didn't tell you that they have like about 10,000 a month or even 100,000 or whatever that really ridiculous amount is for their ads. And they also have all the Facebook experts to help them. So when you're new, you really are not playing in that kind of, you know, arena, right? Like who actually has, I'm talking about myself, has $10,000 for a Facebook ad? Like I don't have $10,000 for a Facebook ads. I need that kind of money for like, you know, food and living and whatever. So, which is why for me as a business coach for new coaches, I have actually coached a number of people who has very successfully used my organic strategy to start booking clients, right? And then you get the momentum, you start booking clients, and then you actually grow from there. So it's been wonderful to see my clients have so much success. You can check out my Facebook, my Instagram page for some of those success stories about my clients. And so I would just leave you with, if you don't have any question, or if you're like joining, I see some people like Dawn actually join like towards the end, you may want to watch the replay, because this is really good. I'm really talking about how do you actually really increase your client conversion rate to about 80%, and how the conventional thing doesn't work, right? And I want to give a shout out to go into my my website, which is actually my bio link. Just go in there, go to the blog. I've written about this whole thing in my blog. Obviously, within my blog, it may not be as like laborious as this, but it's essentially like a summary of what I've written, and you can actually read about that in the blog. All right. So I thank you so much for joining, and if later any one of you is not watching this live and you're just coming on and you're just checking this out, thank you so much for checking it out. Just want to say you are awesome and you can do this, but just do not do this with the conventional way, right? It's a multiple different like strategies that will make your business rock, and there's a way to do it. So go to my Facebook, go to my website, it's in my bio link. Check out this blog, right? And you'll be able to get some, I hope, some cool ideas which will help you to really move your business into the next step. Oh, I just made some stuff. All right, thank you very much. Bye.